for spending time in our talk show today.
Thank you for inviting me.
How long have you been living and working in Vietnam, and what is your impression about this country?
I've been living in Vietnam for 2 years now with my wife, and we moved here from Africa. We were living in Africa, Botswana, for 3 years, and before that in London, and all of that time I've been with Knight Frank. So since we moved here, the first impression that we had when we moved to Vietnam is the energy and the vibrancy of Vietnam. So coming from Africa, it was very quiet and very laid back. So as soon as we stepped off the plane at Ho Chi Minh, we were hit by the energy and the vibrancy of the Vietnamese people, and that's probably the biggest thing that's stayed with us for the 2 years that we've been here so far.
We have experienced a very difficult time for the real estate market in 2011. So have you learned anything from that time?
2011 was a very difficult year for Vietnam property market, but in a way it was actually very good for us, for Knight Frank. Knight Frank set up the business in Vietnam in 2010, and 2010 and 2011 were both incredibly difficult for the property market, but for us, we have set up a business in the most difficult time, and we are now gaining market share, and we're growing the business purely because we've set up at such a difficult time. So we really understand the market. But the market in 2011, to me, because I've been in the industry so long, I know that property market is always in a cycle. So we're always going to have ups and downs in the market, and Vietnam is no different to anywhere else in the world. So there will be highs and lows in the property market in Vietnam for years and years to come, and it's just a natural process that the property market will go through. I think that within Vietnam there's always an internal sort of optimism that property prices are going to keep going higher and higher and higher, and that unfortunately is not the case. 2011 has proved that property values have decreased quite dramatically, and rental rates have also decreased as well.
What is your assessment about the property market of Vietnam in the first quarter?
First quarter of this year has been more positive than 2011 so far. We've seen a number of positive indicators that have given a little bit of confidence to the market. So the stock market has been a very good performer so far this year, up over 20%, and we've had the recent reduction of interest rates from the government, which it was only 1%, but it helps. It's a step in the right direction, and what we are seeing at the moment is a lot more activity from international investors. So that is very encouraging. Those three together are giving some confidence to the market. So we are quite optimistic that 2012 will be slightly better than 2011.
At the time of the end of the first quarter of 2012, it's as well as many real estate businesses realized the quite optimistic signal of the market. For instance, the decline in interest rate, the forecast increase of overseas remittance, and etc. Up to now, the prices segment of high-end apartment, villa and project land have fallen to nearly 40% and nearly 20% with the segment of adjacent apartment. However, this cannot dispute the gloomy atmosphere of the market. Currently, according to the report of Vietnam Real Estate Association, the apartment market in Ho Chi Minh City has about 37% of high-end apartment, 28% of the middle-level apartment, and only 25% of popular apartment. In Hanoi, the condo market is mainly about the large apartment with areas over 100 square meters and price over 30 million VND per square meters. Therefore, there is still large demand for the small apartment that suit the financial capacity of most people.
The State Bank just decided to reduce the interest rate, so how will this decision impact on the real estate market?
I think the interest rate cut has been welcomed by the property industry. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It's not going to make a huge difference to the property market, purely because interest rates are still very high. But we have to encourage the government and the policymakers to reduce interest rates even more. But obviously, inflation has played a big part of why interest rates are so high. So inflation has now stabilized to a certain extent, and we hope that 2012 will be more of a more stable market. Interest rates, again, we hope will reduce further in the latter part of the year. So overall, it's a good message, and I think we hope it will continue.
The business themselves still need to find solution in order to circulating their projects. As for you, what will be the best solution?
I think the developers overall, I think, have learnt a lot over the last 2 years, because previously it was very easy to develop pretty much anything and it would sell. It was a very, very easy market. You didn't need international property advisors and agents to do your job for you. So over the last 2 years, developers, I think, have now seen a need for much more research in terms of the development, to understand the market, to produce and build very good quality buildings with good layouts and a product that is actually going to sell in the market. And if you go through that process, then generally the product will still sell. But just building on spec developments that you hope you are going to sell at prices that are not in line with the market, it's going to be very, very difficult. So for us as a company, we are very selective in terms of which products we like to sell and which products we like to be exclusive agents for.
About the solution, are there any differences between businesses in the north and in the south of Vietnam?
I don't think there's a huge difference between the north and the south. I think we have, as a company, we have people working from the north in Ho Chi Minh and people from Ho Chi Minh working in the north. So we try and make sure that both offices have people from the north and the south working in them. From my experience, the north I find more traditional, and I've been into meetings in Hanoi where there's been 30 or 40 people sat around a boardroom table, which is quite interesting and is very different to what I've known before. In the south, I think the decision making is slightly quicker in the south, but I think that there's positives in both cities.
There is a point of view that restructuring a financial market and real estate market with the participation of investment funds will be one of the best solutions. Do you agree with this?
Well, I think we'd like to see more investment within the property market in Vietnam. I think one of the issues for most investors that are looking in Vietnam at the moment is the transparency of the property market and the risk that is attributed to that transparency. I think we need to, over the next 5 to 10 years, the Vietnam property market needs to mature, and we need a more professional approach to the property market, and that will give investors a lot more confidence in terms of investing in Vietnam.
Almost every economist has mutual assessment that in 2012 there will be a fierce competition among enterprises in the property market. The discount issue even from 30 to 40% is understandable in the process of recovery and purification market. It's perhaps said that once the pride along with the market structure issue is addressed, together with the favorable macroeconomic conditions, the real estate market will quickly prosper and that will open up many opportunities not only for businesses, investors, but also consumers.
We have seen a surplus as well as discounts in some segments, such as office or large apartment. However, there is a large demand on other segments, for instance, small apartment with price less than 1 billion VND. So, is there any changes in this segment of investment flow?
I think at the moment you're correct. I mean, those segments are the lower end of the residential market is still attracting good interest. I think we are going to see over the course of this year, like I say, there's a lot more international investors looking at Vietnam, and they are looking at all sectors. So retail, office and residential are all and industrial are all potentially of interest for international investors, because they're looking at a much more medium to long-term view.
What is your evaluation about the market trend in the rest of 2012?
For 2012, we are cautiously optimistic that we're going to see an improvement in the market this year compared to 2011. I don't think it's going to be a great year, but I think it will be an improvement on 2011. There will be, I think, some sectors that will perform better than others. We see differences between the north and the south. The north residential market is slightly better performing than the south at the moment, and the office sector in both cities is actually quite good. There's still quite a lot of requirements and still quite a lot of demand, so that is looking good. And on the retail side, there's more activity in Hanoi at the moment than there is in Ho Chi Minh.
Once again, thank you for spending time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.